A great drill I like to add into my warm-up routine is going to be the strideless throw. So when I do a strideless throw, I am going to be kind of in the initial phases, not the very initial phase, but I'm going to be in the initial phases of my throw. So I'm going to start like this. So I've pretty much, if you see, I've got my heel lined up on the edge of this white line here, and I have got my toe on the edge of that line there. That way I'm in my opened position. I talk about a tightrope when we throw. We do not want to be closed off when we throw because that's not allowing my hips. You can see I can't really get a lot of towel movement when my legs are in like a tightrope position. So if I'm in this position here, now I can allow for those hips to essentially punch through and give me that push that I need to start. I talk about a throw, it is from the ground up. So if we don't have our feet grounded, we don't have our weight positioned properly, we're not applying force into the ground properly, we're going to be thrown off from the ground, and therefore it's going to affect the all the way up part of this. So if I'm in this position here, I've got my toe of my left foot because I'm a right-handed quarterback. Lefties would be the opposite. I've got my right foot here. So I'm going to start in this position here where I am loaded on my backside. So that is a huge first step in talking about the lower half force. It is applying the pressure with your back leg. So for me, I'm a right-handed quarterback, so this is going to be my right leg really applying force into the ground. So I'm going to be pushing into the ground. I almost want to feel like I'm doing like a leg workout here because I'm going to feel my right glute is going to fire up, my quad, my hamstring, everything is going to kind of activate so I can apply that pressure properly into the ground. So from here, I'm going to be in this position because I am already going to be loaded up. This is my loaded up movement right here. So this is where I'm going to start my strideless throw. I'm going to be in this position here. And how I initially teach quarterbacks how to do this, we use a ball sometimes we don't. Kind of depends on their ability to use their hips. If they have no hip movement whatsoever, it feels like their hips are kind of stuck, I actually go no ball first. So if we're teaching a quarterback in this scenario, or we're a quarterback in this scenario, I'm here like this, and I'm in this position, and all I am worrying about is that force from my back foot, and it transfers all the way up my leg into my hips, and then therefore my core. I explain a throw is we start from our toes. It works all the way up our leg, all the way up our core, my elbow, my hand, and then my fingers are the last thing in this throw. So essentially, my arm is my last resort. My arm basically has no choice but to go because everything else is going with it at the bottom. So if you do it right, your arm's got no choice but to whip through because we've got so much force that applies all the way through here. My arm's got to go forward, right? If I am in an armless throw, I am having to do a lot of things with my arm. I'm not going to be able to throw it as far. I'm not going to be as consistent because there's a lot of whip, a lot of angle that I could be doing here. We do have to adjust angles. We may have to do some arm throws. I had to do plenty of arm-only throws in my career, but I start with my foundation because most of the time we need power. We need to be able to throw that ball in there accurately, consistently, all the things needed. I call it building a house. We want to have a solid foundation here. We don't want to be building sandcastles that look pretty, might do all the things. It's not going to hold up over time. So I'm going to be in this position right here like this. So for my new quarterbacks or quarterbacks who cannot use their hips very well, we're just in this sequence where we are working on throwing the towel forward, pushing those hips forward. We are explosive in this. We are intentional about the aggression of the hips. So I'd rather someone overdo this part here. That way when they get in the throw, everything can fire away. I have seen plenty of reps where they're getting the hang of it, which is fine, but I explain it as it's got to be a punch. We have got to generate that power. Nothing as an athlete is slow moving. All right, if we're slow moving, it's because we're doing something outside of the game, right? Anything in the moment is fast. It's those fast twitch muscle fibers. We've got to be like the snap of a finger. So if we're training slow, we're going to be slow. We've got to train fast, get those hips popping. This is a great visual effect for quarterbacks or coaches to be able to see, or parents, to be able to see, are my hips powerful coming through? My hips can come through, but you can see the difference in the towel versus that. There's a significant difference. Once they get the hang of that, then we start to add a ball into the sequence to where we're here and we just work on this. Hips firing through, getting that arm back. Once we get that motion down repetitively, we are going to start to be able to make this throw. So when I do these strideless throws, I absolutely love this. I keep my back foot on the ground. There's a good debate right now. Does a quarterback's back foot stay on the ground when they're throwing? In this drill for a warm-up, yes. In real time, quarterbacks, please remove your back foot from the ground. I am not saying you have to be a pitcher and throw your leg up real high, but I do want you to disconnect from the ground. No part of this in a game is natural whatsoever, all right? So we're not going to do that in a real-time throw. In this warm-up though, this is what I want you to focus on because I want those hips firing through so you keep the back foot grounded on these throws here. So when I go to make this throw, I'm working on that load, that push on that back leg. Once I get that, I'm gonna focus on my hips powering through, and then I will keep my back foot connected to the ground. But once again, I wanna emphasize warm up only. This is just a warm up. When we start to actually make our throws, we will remove the back foot from the ground just a little, and we will take it out to the side. For the strideless throws though, we're gonna keep that back foot grounded. So let's see it in action. We're gonna go here, we get that nice load, whipping through,